this is what I've been waiting for since they closed the gold window in 1971. And I said, wow, this is a big idea. Do you remember this?
Yes, I do.
This is a big idea. How big could this be, Art? And you said, now this was when Bitcoin was at a $6 billion, we used to call it network value. I guess that more people now call it market cap, $6 billion back then. How big could this be? Well, how big is the U.S. monetary base?
The rise of Bitcoin has created significant disruptions for conventional financial institutions. It challenges not only banks but also established payment systems, lending mechanisms, and investment strategies. This leads to an important question. Is Bitcoin capable of functioning as money and possibly replacing traditional currencies? In a recent interview, Cathie Wood, the CEO of Ark Invest, provided valuable insights into the Bitcoin ecosystem. She discussed its current status, its relation to monetary policy and supply-side economics, and how Bitcoin may emerge as a private currency in the global financial landscape. Make sure to watch to the end of this video as Cathie Wood shares more detail about this topic. Also, if you enjoy listening to crypto-related content, please show your support by liking and subscribing to this channel by following the link in my bio. And get access to my free daily crypto updates and expert predictions direct to your inbox. Each newsletter contains market intelligence, on-chain data and latest updates from experts in the crypto space. All of this is available completely free of charge. Signing up only takes a moment and you can always change your mind later on. Now back over to Cathie Wood.
Ever since the beginning, we've had this conversation, and I think as I've tried to reconcile what our research suggests is going to happen here, after all, we are saying that we believe the price of Bitcoin will scale. I think our bull case is $1.5 million. Let's go. As we move toward the system that you are talking about, Art, and already we are seeing the volatility is coming down. You know, when it was $6 billion in network value or market cap, the volatility was like unbelievable. But we're seeing the volatility come down, and the world you're talking about is how far out do you think? We think that price target is a 2030 price target. And how will the conversation change? Because, you know, I know that one thing the core developers will not do is change that 21 million unit. One of the things that we discussed as you were reminding me of this history, my perception, again, just looking at charts going way back, was that the world you're describing, the world of private money, was a very volatile world. You know, the output whipped around pretty dramatically. And I remember one of your answers was, and it resonated, was that yes, that's true. But if there were many crises, they were over in a few weeks. You know, the adjustments were quick. With our monetary system, we get an 0809, and that built up over years and years and years, right? One of the things that, of course, President Trump is, you know, animated about is trade, and exactly the issue. So, and I know you do compare notes and everything. What is he doing? He must agree with you. He's a good businessman. What is he doing when he rants and raves about our trade deficit? I think Larry Fink's conversion was very important. You know, that was a moment. Remember, he was denigrating Bitcoin for years, very focused on the environmental side of it. But how is it perceived? Well, the first thing that happened was Grayscale, because it kept its fee at 2%, donated a lot of share to all of us. Right? I mean,
why was that? That just doesn't make any sense.
Well,
why they kept it like that. Let's just put it
this way. We think it was a miscalculation, and the CEO, who I've known him for a very long time, he quit. I think, and now they're putting, if you look at what they did with Ether, they've introduced not only the conversion into the Grayscale trust into an Ethereum ETF, but also an Ether Mini for 10% of it. So the cost there is 15 basis points. And I think I don't know if they're keeping it at the rest at 2%, I don't know. I don't understand the strategy. But first donated a lot of share, grew the market in terms of, beyond what Grayscale offered. So the education of 11 ETF providers vying for business at the same time, the education around that was tremendous. And you had most of the major asset management institutions involved, whereas, when we were in our early days, they thought we were using a marketing gimmick, or there was, always a reason not to consider what we believed was a new asset class. So first, donation of share to lots of other players, all of whom have educated. But the most interesting thing is it really has not hit yet, because the big platform, we call them wirehouses. So Morgan Stanley, Wells Fargo, Bank of America, Merrill Lynch, LPL would be an independent one, UBS. None has approved them for the platform. And everybody.
Is that the 6-month mark I keep hearing that they needed some?
I don't know. Yes, that we were told by the most progressive of all of them, we need 3 to 6 months. Okay, so now we're 6 months in. And I'm sure at one point, price hit 70. They thought, we can't put, this is very volatile. We can't put our clients in this. We'll wait for a correction. The correction was much more shallow than they expected. There was one immediately after launch. But no one jumped on the recent one, which is interesting. So I think they're still trying to get their arms around it. They probably have to hire analysts to support them, because otherwise it's on the management team's backs. This is their risk. So I think they'll have to get a little bit of an infrastructure going. And we're starting to see that. We're also starting to see some demand pull from clients, which is good. That will get top management to make the investments in the research team to make this happen. So it's a slow process, but, despite what seems to be a wonderful success, it hasn't even begun.
Thanks for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe for news and expert predictions direct to your inbox.